Here we continue on an exploration of sternoclavicular joint in the shoulder complex. And here we have with us today the sternoclavicular joint motions. Do you know how many degrees of freedom in sternoclavicular joint? Of course, we learned in the previous video, right? That is the 3 degree of freedom, 3 rotatory and 3 translatory degrees of freedom. Hence, the movements in sternoclavicular joints are elevation, depression, protraction, retraction, and anterior and posterior rotation. So, these are the movements. What are they? Elevation, depression, protraction, retraction, anterior and posterior rotation. So, these are the 3 basic movements that possible in the sternoclavicular joint. So, let us examine each one in detail. What are the 3 translatory movements? So, the translatory movements include superior translation, medial translation, anterior translation, inferior translation, posterior translation, and lateral translation. Like this, superior translation, this is superior translation, inferior translation, this is inferior translation, this one is medial translation, medial, and this one is lateral translation, and this one is anterior translation, and this one is posterior translation. So here you can see superior translation, inferior translation, anterior translation, posterior translation, medial translation, and lateral translation. So let me tell you one more time. This is superior translation, this is medial translation, this is anterior translation, this is posterior translation, this is lateral translation, and this is posterior translation. So these are the very minimal movements happened here. Our point of interest is to understand the rotatory movements. So the first one is elevation and depression. So it is difficult to observe this movement in the medial side of this joint. This is the medial side of the joint. There the observation is very difficult. That is in the sternoclavicular joint, and this is a long lever too. This is a long lever too. Due to this, we have taken the lateral end of the clavicle. This is the lateral end of the clavicle. This is the lateral end of the clavicle as the reference point. So we are describing the motion with respect to the lateral end. So we are describing the motion with respect to lateral end. So by observing this end, that is the lateral end, we are taking the reference point. Okay. So we are describing the motion with respect to the lateral end. And now, what is elevation? Elevation is the movement of the lateral end of the clavicle upwards. So this is the lateral end of the clavicle. It moves upward. That is known as the elevation. The word itself is explanatory. No need to by heart this. So the lateral end of the clavicle elevates, or the lateral end of the clavicle moves upward. This moves upward. And the lateral end of the clavicle moves downward. That is depression. So when the lateral end moves downward, it is known as depression. When the lateral end moves upward, it is known as elevation. So you understood? Can you tell me which axis is the movement happening? The movement is happening in AP axis. Here the movement is happening in the AP axis. So this would be in frontal plane. So this would be in frontal plane. But this is not the complete picture. If we look at the clavicle is actually having a saddle shaped articular surface. So here it is having a saddle shaped articular surface. So if we have convex or over here, so here there will be concave. So if we have convex over here, so over the medial end of the clavicle, then the manubrium of the sternum will be concave. So what? Here it has very small saddle shape that we have discussed earlier. So what is happening in the elevation is that the convex part of the clavicle moves on the concave on manubrium. So this convex part of the clavicle moves on the concave of the manubrium. Can you tell me the peculiarity of this? This definitely the concave convex rule. So this is the concave convex rule. Concave and convex rule. Right? That is convex clavicle is moving on the stationary concave manubrium. So arthrokinematics, and this is the interarticular motion, that is inside the joint motion, will be opposite to the outside joint motion. So this convex articular surface of the clavicle is moving in the stationary manubrium of the sternum. Do you understand? This convex surface of the clavicle moves on the stationary concave articular surface of the manubrium. So here we apply concave convex rule where the arthrokinematics and the osteokinematics will be opposite to each other. Okay, do you understood? So the outside motion is what? The outside motion here would be elevation. So when the clavicle moves upward or when the clavicle elevates, the medial end of the clavicle, that is the articular surface of the clavicle, will roll superiorly and gliding will be inferiorly and gliding will be downwards or inferiorly. So here you can see in this picture, if the clavicle is elevating upward, then the medial end of the clavicle will be rolling superiorly. It will roll superiorly and glides inferiorly, just opposite to the outside motion. Okay, do you understood? This happens because here we are applying concave convex rule, because the clavicle is convex, the clavicle articular surface in the medial end is convex and the manubrium is concave. So here we are applying concave convex rule. So here the arthrokinematics and the osteokinematics will be opposite to each other. Like when there is elevation, then the opposite will happen in the another side, like inside the joint. So the rolling will be in superior direction and the gliding will be in inferior direction. So just opposite to the outside motion. So I think here you will be understood that it rolls superiorly and glides inferiorly. Here you can see it, the superior part is rolling inside, so it rolls superiorly and glides inferiorly. So like this will be the direction, right? So when the clavicle elevates, it rolls superiorly and glides inferiorly. So this will be the direction of the medial end of the clavicle. If you have any doubt in arthrokinematics and osteokinematics, let me know in the comment section. We will have a video on that. So when it happens in depression, it will be just opposite to elevation. So here you can see when the clavicle is depressing or when the clavicle is moving downward, then the rolling will be just opposite to the outside motion. So when the clavicle is moving, the lateral end of the clavicle is moving downward, then the rolling will be in inferiorly. The rolling will be inferiorly and gliding will be superiorly. The rolling will be inferiorly and the gliding will be superiorly. So this will be the motion, right? This will be the direction. So here you can see the rolling will be superiorly. The medial end of the superior part of the clavicle is rolling upwards, so it is moving inferiorly. Superior part is moving inferiorly and the inferior part of the clavicle is moving superiorly. Do you understood? It's little bit confusion, but it's easy to understand. Like when the elevation occurs, when the clavicle elevates, it will the motion in the other side, the joint motion inside it will be opposite to the outside motion. So when the clavicle is elevating, the rolling will be in superiorly. The rolling will be superiorly and the gliding will be inferiorly. And when the clavicle is lateral end of the clavicle is downward, moving downward, then the rolling will be inferiorly and gliding will be superiorly, just opposite to elevation. So I think here you have understood the concept. So now you have understood the concept, right? So the normal range of elevation is 48 degree and the depression is less than 15 degree. Elevation is 48 degree, 48 degree, 48 degree and depression is 15 degree. Okay. And now let me see protraction and retraction of the clavicle. So what is protraction and retraction here? So we should remember which is the reference point. The lateral end is the reference point. So this is the medial end of the clavicle and this is the lateral end of the clavicle. So this is the reference point. So this is the reference point. So this is a vertical axis movement and here it having transverse plane. So how do you define protraction? So how do you define protraction? It is very simple. The protraction is defined as the lateral end of the clavicle moves anteriorly. So here you can see the lateral end. This is the lateral end of the clavicle. So this is moving anteriorly. So this is known as protraction. Do you understood? The lateral end of the clavicle is moving anteriorly is known as protraction. And what is retraction? The lateral end of the clavicle moving posteriorly is known as retraction. Lateral end of the clavicle moving anteriorly is known as protraction and lateral end of the clavicle moving posteriorly is known as retraction. So here that's not the picture we need to know. So in protraction, lateral end moves anteriorly and in retraction, lateral end moves posteriorly. So when the lateral end is moving anteriorly, the earlier picture in elevation and depression was that convex is moving on concave. Remember? In earlier we studied that in elevation convex surface is moving on concave surface. So now it's slightly, there will be a change here. Two articular surface, one is slightly convex and one is slightly concave. Here the clavicle is concave. So here the clavicle is concave and the manubrium is convex. So earlier in elevation we have studied that the clavicle is convex and the manubrium is concave. Right? Clavicle is convex and manubrium is concave. Right? So here there is a little bit change. Here the clavicle is concave and manubrium is convex. Because the clavicle is having two articular surface. One is slightly convex and one is slightly concave. That you know that the clavicle having two articular surface. So here the concave surface of the clavicle is moving on the convex surface of the manubrium. convex surface of the manubrium. Okay, so that changes here in protraction and retraction. Concave clavicle moves on convex manubrium. This is exact opposite to elevation and depression. Do you understood? In elevation and depression, we having clavicle was convex and the manubrium was concave, right? So here in this protraction and retraction, the clavicle is concave and the manubrium is convex. This is the exact opposite of that. So the osteo and arthrokinematics will be same, like they occurs in the same direction, that is extraarticular and intraarticular occurs in same direction. So what happens here? The lateral end of the clavicle moves anteriorly. When the lateral end of the clavicle moves anteriorly, that is a protraction. At the same time, medial articulating surface rolls anteriorly. So when the clavicle, lateral end of the clavicles move anteriorly, that is a protraction, then the medial end of the clavicle rolls anteriorly and glides anteriorly. You understood? There the osteokinematic and the arthrokinematics will be same. Here the concave is gliding over the convex. You understood? Concave is moving over the convex. So here the osteokinematics and the arthrokinematics will be same. But in elevation and depression, convex is moving over the concave, on the concave. So there will be the opposite direction. So the arthrokinematics and osteokinematics will be opposite to each other. So here you understood the concept. So here when the protraction or the clavicle moves anteriorly, then the rolling will be in anterior direction and the gliding will also be in anterior direction. So what happens in retraction? In retraction, when the clavicle is moving posteriorly, then the medial end of the clavicle will also move, rolls posteriorly and glides posteriorly. Rolls posteriorly and glides also posteriorly. So once more I will make it clear that in elevation and depression, the clavicle was convex. The clavicle is convex and the manubrium is concave. So the convex is moving on the concave surface. So there will be what? There will be the direction will be the opposite to each other, like the osteokinematics and arthrokinematics will be opposite to each other, like the rolling will be opposite to each other and gliding will be rolling and gliding will be opposite to each other. Do you understood? And in protraction and retraction, the clavicle is concave and the manubrium is convex. So the concave is moving on the convex. So the arthrokinematics and osteokinematics will be same. So the movements will be in same direction. Do you understood? So that is easy to remember, right? So the protraction and retraction having same type of movement in osteo and arthrokinematics. Isn't it clear? If you don't know concave convex rule, it will be difficult to understand this concept. So learn that concept from the textbook, okay? So what is the normal range of protraction and retraction? For protraction, 15 to 20 degree. 15 to 20 degree. 20 degree. And for retraction, 30 degree. Approximately 30 degree is the degree of freedom. So now let's move on to the last movement, that is in the sternoclavicular joint, that is the anterior and posterior rotation. This rotation is bit confusing, but I will try my level best to make it easy for you all. Here only difference is that if we are taking humerus rotation, it is the longitudinal axis, right? But the clavicle is in horizontal axis. So here the clavicle will be in longitudinal axis. Do you understood? Like humerus rotation will be in longitudinal axis and the clavicle will be in horizontal axis. So the longitudinal axis of the clavicle will be like this, not like this. Do you understand? Not like this, it will be like this. Do you understood? So the rotation of the clavicle happens with the longitudinal axis. So here the rotation of the is the spinning movement. Here the rotation will be in spinning movement while the clavicle, manubrium and the disc. So here the rotation will be in spinning movement with the clavicle. This is the clavicle, manubrium and disc. This one is the clavicle, this one is the manubrium and this one is disc. So every bone can rotate in either direction. Like humerus can rotate medially and laterally, femur can rotate medially and laterally, but the clavicle is not having that skill. The clavicle can rotate more in posterior direction, moreover than the anterior direction. The anterior rotation is very minimal, so it can move more in posterior direction. This is the clavicle, so it can move more in posterior direction than the anterior direction. What is happening in the posterior rotation? The inferior surface of the clavicle is actually coming anteriorly. So here you can see in this picture, when the posterior rotation will occur, the inferior surface of the clavicle will move anteriorly like this. It will move anteriorly. So the inferior surface of the clavicle moves anteriorly. That is the posterior rotation. Sorry, not this. This is the clavicle. So when the posterior rotation will occur, the inferior surface of the clavicle, this is the inferior surface of the clavicle. So this inferior surface of the clavicle move anteriorly. Like this. This will be the rotation. Like posteriorly, the clavicle will rotate. So more clearly, we can say that it is the upward rotation of the clavicle. So from posterior rotated motion, clavicle moves anteriorly. That is the anterior rotation of the clavicle. That means it is the rotation from the posterior to anterior, that is posterior rotated position to neutral position. So what is known as anterior rotation? So here the anterior rotation means when the clavicle is posteriorly rotated, here the clavicle is posteriorly rotated, then they move towards the neutral position. Then they come back to its neutral position. That is known as the anterior rotation. Am I clear? I will tell you once again. The posterior rotation means when the inferior part of the clavicle moves posteriorly, or the inferior part of the clavicle coming anteriorly. That is known as posterior rotation. But in anterior rotation, now we are in the posterior rotated position. So this posterior rotated position will come to neutral position, that is known as the anterior rotation. So this is the clavicle. Imagine that this is the clavicle. So when this clavicle's inferior part will come in posterior rotation anteriorly, like the inferior part will be in anterior position, then it is known as the posterior rotation. So when this posterior rotated clavicle will comes in the neutral position, then it is known as the anterior rotation. So here you can see in this figure that the clavicle is posteriorly rotated. Here the clavicle is posteriorly rotated. So the inferior part of the clavicle is coming anteriorly. So when here from this position, if the clavicle is moving, like if the clavicle is moving to its neutral position, like this is the neutral position, from here they come in the posterior rotation, and when they travel to that neutral position, when they come to their original position, then it is known as the anterior rotation. Do you understood? So what are the degrees of movement here? For anterior rotation, the degrees of movement are 10 degrees of movement will occur. In anterior rotation, 10 degrees of movement will occur, and in posterior rotation, 50 degrees of movement will occur. Do you understood? In anterior rotation, because the posterior rotation is more than the anterior rotation. The posterior motion is more than the anterior rotation. So, the anterior rotation is 10 degree and the posterior rotation is 50 degree. Now, why the sternoclavicular joint degeneration is very less? Do you have any idea? It is because the sternoclavicular joint having sternoclavicular disc, this is the sternoclavicular disc, and the costoclavicular ligament, which will dissipate the excessive force. Because of this, there will be less degeneration in sternoclavicular ligament, and also dislocation is less. So the costoclavicular ligament is the strongest ligament in the sternoclavicular joint. So the sternoclavicular disc and the costoclavicular ligament will dissipate the excessive force that acting onto the sternoclavicular joint. So there will be less degeneration of the sternoclavicular joint and the dislocation is very less. So with this we wind up this section. If you like this video, don't forget to like button and kindly subscribe my channel too. If you have any doubt related to this topic, let me know in the comment section, and also if you want any note of this, let me know in the comment section. So thank you.